I'll get this bit out the way right from the get go, right out of the gate. Like, subscribe, Duke.
You know what? I've got nothing after yesterday's performance. To be honest with you, absolutely nothing. Without
No.
just do it. Just press it.
Oh, just sort of gently, agitate it. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't very clever, was it, Duke? Has to be said. And before you answer that, let's just say right from the get go, before people start jumping up and going, we've had a fantastic season, we're in fourth. We know that, but we're dealing with this match in isolation, aren't we?
Listen, overall, season's been amazing, and I will cover the season towards the end of the video as such. But that hurt, Rob.
Yeah,
that hurt. Like I've got to say, I did the opposition outcome. That was the one with James earlier, didn't I? From Sweet and Sour Sauce. Good evening, Simon. And I've got to say, overall, as I said to him there, it was the worst performance that I have seen us play in 2 years.
That bad?
Honestly, I thought that was shocking yesterday. It was too easy. Good evening, boys. Good evening.
And Scott.
And you, Scott. Honestly, it was piss poor from the back four through to Antonio up front on his own. They were pony. I have to be careful. It's before 9 o'clock.
It's before 9 o'clock. Yeah. I'm guessing it involved a swear word.
Well, they were dog beep. That's what they were. Right. That's where I'm at. They came out with any kind of grace, favour, half decent player rating would have been Fabianski, because if it wasn't for him, it would have been possibly even 4. So listen, it was too easy.
Where did it go wrong? I mean, I was watching it and I thought we started the game brightly. I got to say, I thought the first 15 minutes there or thereabouts, basically up to the header that Bowen had, up to that point, I thought we're at it. There's no sign of any sort of hangover from the international break. There's no sign of tiredness from Antonio, and Declan Rice looks in good nick up to that point. But basically, when that header flashed wide from Jared Bowen after 13 minutes, I think it was, something changed. Yes. There was a fundamental shift in the momentum of the match from that point on, and we never managed to regain it from at any point subsequently. What happened?
Bruno Lage did his best impression of the Italian manager in the final of the Euros. Is the only way I can give it to you. West Ham were on top. West Ham, I won't say look to be cruising, Rob, because that is never the case. It's West Ham. But we look comfortable. The header flashed wide, and all of a sudden, oh no, I'm back. Can you? I
was going to say, your kids on the internet again?
They better bloody not be. I've told them not to be. They started playing us at our weaknesses, mate, and that was out wide. And my God, every time they either dispossessed Rice in the middle of the park, or they picked up a loose ball elsewhere on the pitch, it seemed like they had an extra 1 or 2 forward at times. It was horrible to watch. And then it just got worse as the game went on. Every time they came forward, it was, like I say, they pick up the loose ball in the middle of the pitch. They'd dispossess one of the forward players, or even Rice and Souček right on the halfway line. and within three passes, 4 passes of the ball, they were on the edge of our box, and we just did not have an answer to it. And as I say, up until when Bowen had the header, and as James pointed out earlier, 5'7" against 5'7", 5'8" in the air, it was never gonna be earth shattering. But he got up and he won the header well, just wide. If that goes in, I think the game's a different story. But it didn't, and then Lage changed something. It kept us on our toes. We still tried to get our fullbacks forward to support Fornals and to support Bowen. And when that happened, they broke. And Podence, my God, the amount of times that man had the freedom of Molineux.
He had 2 cracking chances that Fabianski had to pull out a tremendous stop to keep it out of the back of the net from him. I was really impressed with Podence. Yeah,
I was. For me, he was the man of the match, mate. And as Andy says there, Fabianski kept the score low. I mean,
I agree.
We weren't at the races yesterday, and I think if I was to give Fabianski a rating, I'd give him probably an 8 because of the amount of saves he had to make. Distribution, I think, let him down again. But
I think he was a 7, but we're not. We're on the same ballpark. I think he was a 7. I think the distribution was a little bit poor, but then again, we've kind of come to expect that, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? His distribution is crap. And that's me being very polite about it. But he's still a fantastic shot stopper. And as you say, if it hadn't been for him, we'd have been in banging trouble. Our goal difference would have taken a pounding.
Oh, listen, I think if listen, we came up against the side yesterday. Jesus,
what are you having a party there? You having a rave?
I'm going to go punch one of the children in the face momentarily.
This is live, ladies and gentlemen. I can't edit it out.
Has decided to just go and play Absolute Radio Country, which is what my son listens to before he goes to bed. So someone's going to go get hurt in a minute. That being said, no, listen, we came up against the side that broke like we break. The attack like we attack when we were
out countered,
and we were out West Hammed by Wolves. It's that simple. That simple.
Do you think that we've maybe sort of like, how can I put this? We've started to believe our own hype a little bit too much. Is that maybe do you think that maybe is sort of like a weakness that's crept in? We've got a little bit complacent. The win against Liverpool, we've beaten Man City this season, albeit on penalties. We've beaten Manchester United. Do you think that there's any chance that maybe we've rocked up to Molineux thinking, well, this should be fairly routine?
Listen, Wolves rocked up at Molineux thinking it would be routine for West Ham. Let's not mess around. A lot of the Wolves fans honestly thought that it was going to be a turnover for us. They thought I think it was it Scott from Sweet and Sour Soccer, not James from earlier, but I think he said 3-1 West Ham, didn't he?
He did.
So, listen, even they thought it was going to be the case in point. Now, I don't think we're believing our own hype. I don't think we're getting ideas above our station. I think the international break came at the wrong time, and we go again next week. It's we've got European football on Thursday. We've got City, I believe, on Sunday. Is that right?
We have, nice easy fixture.
Hey, listen, don't matter. I'll be honest with you. I watched them today against Everton, and there were times I saw gaps and I saw, some exploited what we could have exploited. So, I mean, listen. Our bench doesn't fill me with confidence right now, and
that's the weakness, isn't it?
As I posted on the Thoughts from IM Twitter page yesterday, as I was watching the game, yes, there it is. There's the answer, Yarmolenko. January can't come quick enough at the minute for me. You know, so you know, it's as I said to you before we came on, mate. Andy's just touched on it there. I'll be pissed off if I travelled all the way at Wolves for that shit yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. And these sides making the point. We've got City, Brighton, who we traditionally don't do very well against, and Chelsea. So our next 3 games, you got to look at that and go, ooh.
Beat Liverpool, beat City, albeit on penalties. Beat Man United with what I consider to be a weakened side. Top of our group in Europe.
But we won't do anything playing like we did yesterday. That's fair to say.
Listen, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is,
yeah,
why can't we go out and beat City? Why can't we go out and beat Chelsea?
We can if we play like we did against Liverpool, 100%.
So there you go. So, again, I respect what each side is saying, and that's fair enough. I just think that we have a little bit more about us this season. We have a little bit more that we can bring to the table.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't bring it to the table yesterday. And to a man, every single one of those outfield players was dogged yesterday.
Well, look at that one there. The tackles 1 percentage. That's quite a difference. It's about a 12% differential from Wolves' tackles 1 percentage to ours.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we just weren't at the races, Rob. It's quite simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just don't. Yesterday was shit. I do believe that Moyes will have got up and at him. Yeah, bad day at the office. We go again on Thursday. That's really all I've got now.
What did you think about half hour into that first half? Because I know you discussed it with James on opposition outcome, and I've still only seen the incident once, but the sort of like the penalty shout on Ben Johnson, penalty, no penalty, in your opinion?
As I said, if that's given against us at that point, I'm pissed off and angry. If it's not given for us when it's at the other end, I'm going to be pissed off and angry. Listen, there are merits on both sides of the coin that's a pen. Is his arm like that as he turns his back a natural position? No, not really.
Is he making his body? I mean, sort of like because he's made his target area bigger. Do you think?
Yes, he has. Yeah, because his arm's out, but he's doing it in a jump and a turn, so he doesn't know where the ball's going. If he was if he was facing the ball when that happens, it's a pen all day long. It's a pen all day long if he's facing the ball when that hits him. But he isn't. He's turned his back and he's kind of a strange side on. So, But
again, James's point was that, he, as a defender, he should be ready to take a whack in the midriff. He should be ready to take a whack. Why are you why are you turning away from the ball? That's sort of like, it's a bit cowardly, and B, you're almost asking for a decision like a penalty in that situation to be given against you. So why put yourself in that position?
No difference to a wall on free kicks, mate. They tend to jump and turn at the same time, and they're probably a little bit further away from a free kick than he was yesterday. Listen, it could have been given. It could have been given. It could have been saved by Fabianski. It wouldn't have made a difference. It's one of those. All I've got, Rob, is it was a bad day at the office, and we've come off the back of an international break, like Andy's just said. It's been played against us. That international break has pretty much what's tripped us over, I feel. So, what else do you do? You pick yourself up. Players come in for extra training, or come in for training, not necessarily extra training. And we go again, get ready for Rapid Vienna, and if the game obviously goes ahead after their COVID lockdown. So, but listen, at the end of the day, again, all respect to Eastside in the comments. he's right in what he says about Antonio. He has been quite poor for
But who replaces him?
Well, we've had this discussion. No one. I don't think Antonio is overrated crap. I can't. I can't get in behind that. Vlasic will not be sold in January because he can't. Yarmolenko, completely agree. Listen, it's not even a case of selling him.
He should have gone in the summer, quite honestly.
Get him off the books. Get him off the books and get him gone. Vlasic, listen,
Too early.
People are sounding like me with Ben Rama last year. I was willing to let Ben Rama fall out the door in January. After a poor start to the season. At the moment, no different to Vlasic. I don't think Vlasic is doing any different to what Ben Rama was doing after Lingard arrived, or even before Lingard arrived. Now, there's talk that Lingard will be back in a few weeks' time, and if he is, fair play. I will get behind him, and I will support the guy wearing a West Ham shirt. Do I think we should go after him? We all know my opinions on that. I've made it perfectly clear. I know other people's opinions on that, and it's fine. I listen. I don't disagree with people, and to a point, I can agree with people. I don't think we should be using any kind of money on him for January, and probably should wait until the end of the season.
You're even saying that despite the shit show that occurred at Molineux yesterday. I'm not being funny. Do you not think that 1-0 down and we're going the last 20 minutes of that match, do you not think he would have been an ideal substitute to bring on?
Listen, anyone would have been an ideal substitute to bring on, apart from the shower of shit that we had on the bench yesterday, Rob. It's quite simple. Yarmolenko in a West Ham shirt certainly isn't Yarmolenko in a Ukraine shirt. Vlasic at the moment is, for me, still finding his feet. Listen, Mr. Venn, agreed. Listen, I don't even care whether we go out and buy a 17, 18-year-old striker in January, because right now he needs some competition behind him. Whether or not a 17 or an 18-year-old striker is going to be ready, I don't give a monkeys. It's someone there to put a rocket up his arse and make him realise that he can't. Now, do you not think
that Lingard would put pressure on Antonio? Because I'm not being funny. Do you not think that Lingard could play in that role? I mean, everybody sort of said, he can play as the false nine. Well, why can't he play as a proper nine as opposed to a false one?
Because of the way we play doesn't allow...
And I agree with that comment, Scott. 100%. And that is a massive problem for me. You can't have a player... knows that if they're fit and they're available, that their place in this team is assured. That and exactly his next comment. That was exactly what I was going to go on to say. It is not a healthy dynamic. You're 100% correct. I cannot disagree with that. But I do think that Lingard, despite the fact he's not a striker, I do think that would put extra pressure on him.
I think the problem there is he doesn't play in the same way as Antonio. Bullish. Quickly touch on this one. Ben Rama in no way, shape, or form was contributing towards the early part of the season last year. He really wasn't. I think we worked it out that he had something like 7 assists or 8 assists and 1 goal.
I think it was. Did he finish with 6 and 1 or? I can't remember.
Sorry, 6 assists, 1 goal in something like I think including substitute appearances was something like 18 or 19 appearances last season. I might be wrong on the appearances. That for me, for a £25 million player, just isn't good enough for me. You're right. Vlasic has teeth back in. Vlasic has shown nothing so far this season, and I'm not disagreeing there. But we ain't going to sell him when he's been there 6 months and he can't play for 2 teams in a calendar, or in that season. And I believe he can't be registered for 2 clubs. Is that right? In one season.
Well, you say that, but I do think that they made when did they not make a dispensation for that when Javier Mascherano went to Liverpool? Because I'm fairly sure that he played for who was the team that Mascherano was with before he came to us, and then he went on to Liverpool that same season. And I'm fairly sure that they made an alteration to the rules.
It was because of the third-party ownership in there, Gatesy. I think that might have been part of the problem. I don't know. Okay. Don't hold me to it, but I have a feeling that might have been part and parcel to it. Listen, I don't want to go down the bashing road. The players yesterday were dog shit, and they will have come off the pitch knowing that they were absolutely piss poor yesterday. We need another striker. Yes, it's quite simple.
Just look at the average positions here, Duke. Two things I just want to sort of highlight. Look at the average position of Fornals. He's deeper than Cresswell.
Yeah, and that's why we kept getting caught out, Casey.
And
that's why we kept
Ben Rama's virtually on Thomas Souček's toes. What's that all about?
But because we got I'm not going to keep listen. Ben Rama last season was awful at points, and he certainly didn't deliver what he should have done.
I don't know about awful. I wouldn't go as far as awful. I would say inconsistent.
He was awful considering he cost us 28 million quid. I would have expected more. In the same way that right now, Vlasic, when he's been given the opportunity, is awful. He's not performing like a 30-odd million pound player. So, listen, we could go over and over again. I'm a big Benny exponent this year. I think he's had a fantastic start to the season, and he is now proving that he was worth the money we spent last season. So let's give Vlasic the rest of this season, and then we can start ripping him apart in August and September next year when the season starts again. In the same way that if he's not performing in the same way that Benny, has been performing. So we'll do that. We'll hold off and each to their own opinions. But I'm not going to, I don't want to keep going over and over the same thing.
Did the performance of Manuel Lanzini when he came on as a sub give you a little bit of, I don't want to use the word hope, but no, I will use it. Did that at least give you a glimmer of hope? Did you sort of look at Lanzini coming on and I thought he performed admirably when he came on in a bit of a cameo role. And do you think that there's any possibility that Manuel Lanzini for the next Premier League game, I know we've got the game in Vienna, but do you think that for the game at City, that Manuel Lanzini's performance coupled with what we saw yesterday from the starting 11 is that it gives of any sort of opportunity for Manuel Lanzini to be put in there? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought that Thomas Souček was a passenger yesterday, and I think that Thomas Souček by and large has been quite ineffective of late. And I wouldn't have any problem if Souček was dropped out for a little bit and Lanzini was dropped in alongside Declan Rice. Now, I know that the last time that Lanzini played as a defensive mid, he was alongside Souček in the place of Declan Rice. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I'm fearful of talking in case I talk more crap. Lanzini, for me, his ball retention is amazing. He came on and we seemed like we were securing the ball a lot better. I would actually like to see Ben Rama start out on the left a bit more in the City game, and I'd like to see Lanzini come into the hole that Ben Rama tends to enjoy when Fornals is out on the left. That the kind of.
So you drop out Fornals?
I would for now. I'd drop out Fornals. Fornals yesterday, I think he had baby brain on, and I just don't think he was. I don't think he was up to speed. So Ben Rama goes out wide, despite the fact that again I don't think any of the outfield players are any good. If any by any chance that something drastically bad happens to either Souček or Rice, then I would like to see Lanzini being given the opportunity to drop in and play deeper. He proved that when he played there against Burnley last year, and for me, I think at points he dictated the game because of his ball retention. You can give the ball to Lanzini, and we will keep ball. It doesn't bounce off of him and go back to the other team, which seemed apparent in points yesterday. he saved us about 20 million quid in the transfer window with that game against Burnley last year. I'm confident he's coming back to his not quite his best, because I think that injury really did screw him over.
Yeah.
But I think he's on his way back to being what we need him to be, Rob. And I'd start him against Vienna, and I'd start him against City personally.
You start him in the 2 consecutive games.
Why not? He hasn't played a great deal of football this season. He's going to be fresh enough.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Lanzini in against City. I really do, because I think that we know that we're gonna be second best in terms of the possession stats in that game. Let's not try and sort of dress it up any other way. We are going to have the lesser of the possession, and that's fine. But it is vitally important, in my view, that when we've got possession, that we manage to sort of like knit out a sort of a pattern of play, a sort of passage of play, and I believe that having Lanzini in there to sort of like basically be the conductor, if you will, would be absolutely a real sort of tool in the weaponry that we can take to the Etihad. So for me, I think that he's done, in my opinion, not just yesterday. It's really important. I'm not just saying on the basis of a cameo appearance yesterday. I think that it's his volume of work thus far this season, that the game against Manchester United in the Cup and various other performances, away in Genk, blah, blah, blah. There's been, in my opinion, this season, I think I've seen enough when Manuel Lanzini's been utilised to be able to say that yesterday's performance, coupled with all of that, along with what was produced yesterday at Molineux, I think that there should be people that are looking over their shoulder and thinking my place is up for grabs, and he's the first cab off the rank, in my view.
He is, yeah. As you just put there, our possession stats against City are going to be quite low. So you're going to need someone in that team that's going to be able to retain possession for us when we do eventually get to put our foot on the ball. So we're going to need him there. Vlasic did a lot of running, Andy. He tried. Is the best I've got for you. Yarmolenko did. Which he never does when he comes on.
I'm guessing it's your internet.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that went a little bit peculiar. Are they downloading stuff they shouldn't be?
I don't know. I've just punched the wall as you saw me there.
Careful. Don't want to get people talking when you punch walls.
No, that was a punch. That one was a punch to get attention, not a slam side twist into the wall to stop people fucking squabbling.
That gets you in trouble.
It wasn't aggressive or violent. It was it was a bang on the wall.
No, that's all right.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, so you for the game against City, of the 11 that started yesterday, Pablo's the one that's dropping out and Lanzini's coming in for you. If you were David Moyes. Listen,
I keep the team exactly the same.
Yeah.
The team's exactly the same for me, other than Lanzini and Fornals, and that's no disrespect to Fornals. He didn't have a great game yesterday, despite the fact that he's been a fantastic servant for us this season and has played some bloody good games. I just think yesterday he looked off the boil. We looked a better side when Lanzini came off the bench. I say looked a better side. We couldn't look any fucking worse. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I'd do personally. But again, that's just me.
That's just you. Do you want some nuggets?
Please.
Okay, here we go. Wolves have won 3 consecutive top-flight home games for the first time since November 1980. Wouldn't you just know it, ladies and gentlemen? It came against us.
We
was
roll
like
into
you
town
said.
and make things better.
It was like when you said on opposition outcome to James. It's like the goal scorer that's on a 16-game barren run. Help yourself to a hat trick.
We roll into town. That's all it is. We roll into town, and this is what happens. But hey ho.
We've failed to score in a Premier League match for just the second time this season, previously doing so in a 0-0 draw at Southampton in September. Now, that little factoid could be argued one of two ways. Yes, it's a negative that we haven't scored, but it's a positive that it's only the second time that it's happened this season. And this is 12 games in the Premier League. So 10 games we have scored. So I'm very much, not just glass half full. I would say it's about 2/3 full. With you.
Yeah, listen, I mean, again, the game you take into its own context, the season you take as a part, and if that's the only second time we've not scored in this season, then so be it. There's teams out there that have only failed to score in 2 games this season, and we've only failed to not score in 2. So let's take it as it is. Let's just enjoy it.
Yeah. And last one is only 3 today. Wolves have now won 5 of their last 7 Premier League games, drawing 1 and losing 1, more than they had in their previous 18 in the competition when they won 4, drew 3, and lost 11. So again, I mean, trying to take a positive out of a negative. It's not like we've played a team that's bang out of form. Let's just take a step back here. Yes, the performance wasn't great. But exactly. Exactly. It was away from home. It was a team that's in decent form. And as of this precise moment in time, as you say, they're, I believe, 6th in the table. So, forgive me, I'm not going to sort of like throw myself off of Tower Bridge just yet. And as I say, one of the other things that I'd like to just throw in for a little bit of context is that no matter what happens next week against City, unless we lose, Arsenal win, and there is a 14-goal swing in Arsenal's favour in that one match, will still be in 4th place. Now, I'm not being funny.
Massive.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. If you'd have turned around to me at the beginning of the season and said 13 games of the Premier League will have been complete and you'll be 4th, I'd have looked at you and gone, "Oh, I'd take that all day long."
Mate, I think all of us would, and I think all of us would have turned around and laughed at the same time if we'd been told that. So, listen, let's not dick around. All in all, it's a good season. As I said,
is.
I will do the season. I'll put it in a context with regards to the rest of the season. It's only our 3rd defeat, and out of the 3rd defeat, it really is only the first time that we have deserved to lose.
Yeah. I think the City and United and Brentford games, it was one of those, wasn't it, where you sort of went, well, if this had happened and that had happened and blah, 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 blah. Yesterday, like I say, from minute 13 to minute 90, I cannot look at that game in all conscience and make a case for anything other than a West Ham defeat. I just can't.
Yeah, no.
The only person that I think was unlucky to walk off that pitch after the final whistle and could have their head held high on the basis of their performance was Lucas Fabianski. And for me, that's an indictment of the performance of the team. Because if your goalkeeper is your best player, then what the hell were the 10 players in front of him doing?
And you know what? This is it, mate. So listen, all in all, we are 4th in the league. All in all, we lose next week to City, and Arsenal win with a 14-goal difference, we're still going to be in around 5th place. So, listen, we need to rush our gumholes a little bit and stop worrying too much. I mean, at the end of the day, as I said, in a game as a game, we were shite yesterday. Bang on shite, and the worst we have looked for best part of a season and a half. Right? We're due a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're West Ham. Sometimes that could have been argued that we're due a good game. We were due a bad game this time round, and that was it. And the fact it was only 1-0 is testament to our goalkeeper. No one else on the pitch. No one else on the pitch. That was testament to our goalkeeper. That was only 1-0.
Agreed.
But it was a game, the first one out of 3, that we deserved to lose this season. You know, I felt a draw against Brentford was fair. You know, I don't think they should have run out winners there. And I am not blaming anyone for the Man U defeat, because at the end of the day, I would have done exactly the same bloody thing as Moyes did. I called for Nobes to come on. Therefore, nothing different. And again, we could have picked up the draw. Unfortunately, we didn't. So, listen, we are 4th. This is still our Leicester City season. We've lost 3. You know, it is what it is. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but you know what? We're still 4th. We're still in a title race, Rob. I said to you, if we could pick up, I said if we could pick up, you know, 12 points out of 15, or even 17 points out, or 6 to 15, 16 points out of, you know, 19, 21 points. You know, at the end of the day, yes, losing to Wolves has made the next 4 games harder. I said 12 points out of 15, didn't I? Yeah. So I would have put the City game as being the game we lost, right? So that being said, you know, so we now can't really lose to City to keep that 12 points out of a possible, you know, 15 being a thing. But that being said, if we do lose, it's City, and we go again and pick ourselves up, you know, and there we go. You know, and it's spot on, as you know, kind of touching what I've just said there, where I said, you know, we have too many bad games, and then we're due a good game. This time we're due a bad game. Let's not mess around. Let's not get the ump over it. I saw a few hashtags yesterday, tongue in cheek, Moyes out.
Really?
You know, all tongue in cheek. You know, there was laughing faces and shit after it. But,
has to be banter, surely.
Yeah, of course it is. Listen, there's no two ways. Listen, it's not going to be a West Ham fan that is serious on a Moyes out. Fuck mine. That man has worked miracles and will continue to do so. Give him a little bit of cash in January. I know we were just before we came on, Rob. We were linked with a striker from Lage. Bio. Is his name Bio?
This is news to me.
Let me have a quick doobie.
I think this might be a transfer talk stream coming along. When the last one got a few views.
His name's Mohamed Bio. There he is.
Oh,
the Claremont striker.
Claremont. I've heard that name.
We were linked with him. We were linked with him. I think tail end of last season, beginning of this one. And I've just got a website up. Andy, I agree with you there. I saw that as well today, which I found quite amusing, to be honest with you. Why is he going to leave a big club? Mohamed.
We get all the Man United fans having a pop at you striker. Now.
Bring them on. Mohamed Bio. Apparently, he's probably going to cost us in and around 18 million. I think my internet's taking about 4 months to load up for whatever reason. Bio has 7 goals in 12 games, and Southampton, Brighton, and Brentford are all keen. Although with our bid of our money from Kretinsky, they could probably be looking for around 15 million. Again, Divock Origi has been mentioned being a free agent in the summer.
I'd take him.
But West Ham are wary. I like this. The asking price is still too high for Divock Origi, even though he's out of contract in the summer. And West Ham are wary of any dialogue in case it brings up the subject of a certain winger going the other way. So I think, you know, it's.
But how much are they asking for him?
I honestly, I don't know. Let me have a.
I mean, he's going to be free in the summer, for Christ's sakes. So I don't really see that they can really sit there and sort of like
But then that's the
leverage too
same
much
as
against
Jesse
us.
Lingard, mate. That's the same as Jesse Lingard, to be fair, isn't it? You know, there's things to be said about that. Gone again because I'm trying to load up a web page and the internet's going. I don't like you. You're not doing both things at once.
You haven't got that super fast broadband stuff.
You go on. You laugh like Muttley. Go on. I think they're talking.
I could do a Boise if you like.
No. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think they're asking about 15 to 18 million for him as well, was the last time I checked. So, again, I think that's a lot of money for someone who's out of contract in 6 months' time. So, I don't think we're going to do that. But, you know what?
Just leave it.
Well, you know, as Andy mentioned earlier, you know, we've got to bring someone in that's going to push Antonio for his place.
Oh God, yeah.
I'd like to think Hlosek might be the one. If I'm honest, I've just signed him on Football Manager. I am playing one that's 2 years out of date, so I am still on FM20. But you know, yeah, you know what? He's right. I was trying to work out what he was. Yes, I'm with you now. Yeah, I just got to get the kids to stop watching How I Met Your Mother and shit on Netflix while I'm in here. But it is what it is.
Closing thoughts, Duke, for the game against Wolves and for our subsequent Premier League game. Your final analysis of where we're at.
Listen, we're fourth. There's where we're at. We're fourth. It's still a cracking season. We're going to lose games. This one hurts a little bit more than the Brentford or the Man U games, despite the fact that I felt we shouldn't have lost those. It's the manner of this defeat. It's the fact that we weren't even at the fucking races. It was the fact that we didn't, for about 70 minutes, didn't show up, and it hurt. It was the fact that we were out West Ham'd by Wolves. And next game, I want to see us play in much the same way we played against them in the cup, much the same way we played against Liverpool. Play our game. Stop trying to worry about what others do. Play our game. Let's go out and play our game. Stop trying to be negative and defensive against these sides because, you know, we slip up. We came out strong against Liverpool the other week, and we beat them. We came out strong against City in the cup, and we beat them. I feel we should do the same next time round. Other than that, mate, as Andy just said, they're not the best out of the office. Let's move on. We are still massive, and you know what? It's a massive season for us. We just need to keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's an opportune moment to end proceedings there, Duke. And for those of you watching either live or at your own leisure that have got to this point, as it says on the banner there, please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Duke, is there anything just before we wrap, I hit end broadcast, that you would like to say to the class? And you've frozen. You couldn't make it up. Oh, well. Well, in his absence, I think what he'd like to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is, quotes unquotes, we are fucking massive.
Yeah, we are fucking massive. I'm back, I think. I don't know.
I think you're back. I did it for you. You froze, or I did it for you in your absence. So... Yeah. So unless you want to do it as well, we can edit. I've frozen. I don't know. I don't know. I've completely lost the plot. Come on, you Irons.
Massive.